everyone. This is the great Lord and Master, Oseron the Eternal, or the artist formerly known as the Great Roberto. Okay, anyone who's watched the Proof of God series, a lot of this information is going to be repetitive, but I'm making this video. I want to highlight this video because I'm basing this on the questions I see or comments I see on posts about this Tarot and True Tree of Life series. And one of the things that comes up quite a bit is people don't understand, or even, people don't understand the concept of 0 or 1 for that matter. But some people say 0 doesn't exist, other people say this and that. There's all kinds of things. But this is going to show you why the Tree of Life, or the true Tree of Life, is numbered the way it is, clearly. It's going to show you why the Jewel of Creation is numbered the way it is. And if you are watching this series, the Tarot and the True Tree of Life, I highly recommend the Proof of God series as well, because there's a lot. They basically go hand in hand, because this is basically the Proof of God. This series is based on that, and it all boils down to the single-digit code of 0 through 9, and how important 0 is to be acknowledged. Alright, what you're going to see up here is the numbers. I have the numbers written out from 0 to 36. Okay, and like on the Proof of God 4, I think I did, 5 I did this. I wrote the double digits on top of one another, and that shows you clearly what is actually going on with the number system. So you see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in blue, and then the 10 spots are in red, and that goes 10, 11, 12, on and on. And 20 begins in black, and on, and then 30 begins, and I stop at 36 because that's the first time 3, 6, and 9 show up completely in the code, and it's also 36, as has been shown in other videos, gives you 4 complete 9 segments in the jewel. Like on the tarot spiral, each quadrant reduced to 9, and of course 4 times 9 is 36. Okay, now what you're going to see is the same tree code repeating, because the true Tree of Life is numbered 0 through 9. Well, that's what you see here when you write the numbers on top of one another. You see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we're in the 10s. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're in the 20s. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're in the 3s. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I stop at 6. And then when you reduce those numbers, you get the jewel. This right here, I start with the 0, the black 0, and then 1. See, in the Jewel of Creation, the only time 0 appears is at the inception of the jewel itself. This 0 to 1 is the equivalent of Malkuth being born from Yesod. Okay, this is exactly what that is. And then we're in the jewel. So it goes 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then the 10 here becomes 1. And then it starts again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then now the 19 becomes 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now 28 becomes 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you see that with each successive group, it offsets by 1 space. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's even with the tree code. It ends at the same time, so 0, 9, of course, becomes 9, and now it starts again. But now what happens is we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're still in the red of the tree code, but now we start again with 1, so it's offset by 1. And even, well, let me finish first, but so now it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, now 28, now we're offset by 2, and then if you finish 3, it would become offset by 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and on it would go until it repeated and started again. So you're even seeing with the offset, it mirrors the single digit code completely. It starts out in the blue and here with 0 offset. There is no offset. Then in the next one there is 1 offset. In the next one there's 2 offset. In the next one there's 3 offset. So it works in a repeatable, codified manner, just like the code itself. It's all a fractalized code, and it's alive and it works with each other. And over here we see that, what this says here is the upper numbers represent the true tree and the lower numbers represent the jewel. And I have that written out here as 3, 6, and 9, and that just happens to be the end of how I wrote it. And then it says, or 10, 20, and 30 become 1, 2, and 3. But each 10, 20, and 30 serves as the 0 space in the tree code. So over here we have the 10, that becomes a 0 space for the ones. 20 becomes a 0 space for the 2 group. 30 becomes a 0 space for the 3 group, and on it goes, until it flips up to the hundreds and it repeats again. And then all of this, all of the tens, all that is the 10 group, will be the 0 for the 100 groups. You won't see this in the 100 groups. So if you're seeing life from the perspective of from a 100 number, from a 3-digit number, you won't even know about the world of tens. Just like the world of tens doesn't know about the single world. It's 0 to them. And it's the same exact thing with the tree of life. That 0 that's on top of the true tree of life it's 0. It is 0. It gets acknowledged as 0. But what it really is the acknowledgement of the state of 0. That's why it's numbered like that. And then when it manifests into reality as the jewel, then it's not proper to use 0, because 0 is implied by the jewel itself. Because it says up here, there is no 1 without 0. And on the bottom, to illustrate that point in a common, practical manner that everybody should be able to understand, is that at the end of a tape measure is how 0 becomes a 1. That very end of the tape measure, yes, there is a tape there, there is an end of a tape there, but it's when you butt the end of that tape against the object to measure that it becomes 0. So that's how 0 becomes a 1. And from the perspective of us in the material world, we can't imagine what true 0 is, because we're operating from the perspective of a 1. My life, my body, my senses, and my experiences. So everything that we see with our eyes or smell, everything that we sense is just another 1 to us. It's impossible for us to conceive of 0 while being conscious and aware. So it's the paradox of 0. It's at that moment that 0 becomes another state. So from my perspective, 0 just means not me. As I said in one of the other videos, this sword pointer is not me. This is 0 as far as me and my life and body are concerned, unless I stab myself with it. But then I'll die, and then I'll be 0 again. So, you know what I mean? And one other illustration that I want to sort of bring to light is how 9 is derived from 0, and why our number system it works the way it does. I use 8 or 16 as models for a couple of reasons. Because on the true tree of life, the middle pillar, now this is enough to slam shut the Kabbalistic point of view stone cold. But thankfully I have a lot more than that to do it. But the middle pillar on the true tree of life adds to 22, and that's where you get the 22 Hebrew letters from, the 22 pathways on the tree, and that's why 22 is such an important number. But as we discovered on the true tree, 22 is really the conditions of 0 through 21, as the tarot shows us, and the tarot zodiac spiral shows us. And now, but if you multiply those numbers on the middle pillar, it becomes 360. Okay? So now, but then if you divide 360 by 22, it becomes 1.8 and then 33333. So that's enough to just say 1.8. Well, that's a beautiful confirmation of the beauty of 9, because one unit is derived from 12, and that 12 is the first time 9 shows up in Fibonacci. So one unit is 12, and it's comprised of 8 parts, mainly, before it jumps up to the next octave. You know what I mean? But our measurements are really based on the principles of I can't say the word right now. But it starts out as a whole, then becomes a half, then becomes a quarter, then becomes an eighth, then becomes a 16th, then becomes a 32nd, then becomes a 64th. It's always halving. It's always in halving. Just like the the cells, all that stuff. So that's where that comes from. 8 is just the last number before it becomes a 10, or jumps into, starts over again. And even the numbers themselves, because you see here, it says multiples of 8 reveal 9 from 0. Okay? And then we have 0 here, and then the multiples of 8 are 0, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80, and on and on. Well, those reduce to 0, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 9 appears out of that in the spot that would have been 0. And then it continues again, 8 on down. So you're getting a sequence of, this is where 9, this shows the beauty and the magic of 9, and how 9 honestly comes out of nowhere. It comes out of nothing, because we're using multiples of 8, to do that. And 9 just pops right in the show in the spot that was 0 before, showing the divinity of 9 and how 9 really is 0. 9 and 0 are interchangeable. And you do that. And also, another aspect and beauty of 8 is if you add up the numbers 1 through 8, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8, it becomes 36. So if you add up all these numbers, 8 all the way to 1, it becomes 36. Then we see a 369, because the next number is 9. And then, of course, if you add one more 8 to that, it becomes 54. So we're seeing 9, 9 again. But on my tarot and my tarot zodiac spiral video, we see that code within the other codes of 136, 163. There was also a 199, and that's what we see here is the 199. So yeah, so I hope this is clear as to why the true tree of life is numbered the way it is, and then why the jewel is numbered the way it is. So I just wanted to isolate this on one video, and so people can see that, because questions I'm getting, in Facebook posts, a lot of them have to do with that concept of 0, and people don't understand why it's numbered the way it is. See, one thing too about the tree of life, or the so-called tree of life, the Jewish version of the tree of life, that is the exact equivalent of crucifying Jesus. That's exactly what that is, because what the so-called tree of life really is the jewel of creation masquerading as the creative force of the universe. That's exactly what it's creating. Basically, what Kabbalism and all of Abrahamism really is, once you start to look at it, is really symbolized atheism. That's all it is, and I say that. The Jews are really atheists. They are atheists. They are. And so if you hear the term atheistic Jew, well, that's not an oxymoron or anything like that. That's exactly what they are, and it goes back all the way to their symbology. Crucifying Jesus the crucified Jesus on the cross is the so-called tree of life. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. And we see, if you watch the video Toxic Math and the Nature of Human Discord in this series, I get into what happens, what the tarot keys say about the, what I call the tree of death and stagnation, because it really destroys life. It's exactly what it does, and that's what happens with Jesus on the cross. I mean, you have Christians celebrate Jesus on the cross, and they have no idea that that is really the symbol of the destruction of Kundalini, because Jesus Christ is Kundalini, awakened within man. And if you use the proper single-digit code, that is the code of creation and the code of nature, it reveals itself to you. And how does that happen? Well, easy. You acknowledge zero through silent meditation. You become feminine and receptive to the Logos. And then once you receive your instructions from the higher source, then you act in the world based on what you learned from there. And that is 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, and 2. The tree of life, the so-called tree of life, the Kabbalistic tree of life. As a matter of fact, one argument that someone presented on a post was, he says, oh, well, the Jewish tree isn't really numbered. And that might be true. The Sephiroth might not be numbered. But there is an order of emanation, and that by default means they are numbered. And what the so-called tree of life does, it puts the masculine before the feminine in the wrong spot. Because it's fine to put the masculine before the feminine in the jewel, because that's what happens in nature. Masculine men, men seek out women to mate with. You know what I mean? So men are the chasers. Men chase women in the material world. So that's fine. But see, the Jew of creation isn't claiming to be the structure that symbolizes creation itself. You know what I mean? And that's what it does, and that's exactly what it does. Because the true tree of life is feminine. It's birthing. So for the Kabbalists to say or imply that the masculine comes before the feminine, well, that is nothing short of obscene. It is obscene. It encapsulates the entirety of Abrahamism on all of its levels, all the way from basic, whatever, the stories of the Bible or whatever it is, or the underpinning philosophy of Judaism or whatever it is, all the way up to Kabbalism. It's all the same thing. It's all basically atheism, and it's all designed to suppress the feminine. It's to destroy beauty and truth and the idea of the feminine nature of existence. All of it. Kabbalism is not exempt from Jewish shenanigans, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And people got to wake up to this, because this single-digit code is the code that, so far, it seems to work pretty well with everything. So that is that. I hope now that that's a little bit clearer for people of how and why zero is so important and what zero actually is. See, zero is a lot of things, but what it mainly is not one. Okay, so thank you.